Okay, let's start TI for Battle Report. A little disclaimer before we start. This is actually just the fourth or fifth real game of Twilight Imperium I've ever played. For some it was like the second or third game, and we have almost never finished the game. This game was the third game ever I've finished. It takes a lot of time, you guys know that. So this is the map I set up. I started using the one recommended in the Prophecy of Kings book, but I figured let's do something else. I just made this for fun because I wanted to try different things. I have not followed the rules or looked too much into that, but I showed this one to all the other players and we all agreed that it was somewhat balanced, and I even suggested that I go last in picking. But we agreed on just rolling a die anyways and picking according to whoever got the highest, then reversing the order as we choose our factions. When you see the map here, you can see the yellow dice in each home system represents production and the blue die represents influence. First of all, red player chose top left since he felt that was the most secure. And then the second player, the orange player, chose bottom right. Our third player, the yellow player, chose bottom right, top. And I got the last pick, which was actually pretty good because I love this planet right here, especially with the faction I was thinking about playing. Let's take a look into what kind of factions we chose. I was the first one to choose and I chose the Arborec. I love them. They're like a bit hive mind. They're green, which is very important to me. I always play green in every game I have the chance to. And I just love the fact that they can produce from their ground units and really bunker down on a planet if you need to. And that coincides really good with the plan I like to play. I like to secure and hold. Just when I take something, it stays mine. That fits really well with the kind of playstyle I like in strategy games. And now for the second player, he chose the Clan of Tsar. He actually just drew 3 different because he doesn't know too much about the factions. He just wanted to have 3 options to choose from, so we randomized and gave him 3, and he chose the Clan of Tsar. And then we have the yellow player. He chose the Federation of Sol. Same as the Clan of Tsar, the orange player. He didn't want to have too many choices and read through all the factions, so he just took 3 at random and ended up playing Federation of Sol. And for the last guy, he had in mind playing Necrovirus no matter what, if we allowed him to, and that's fine by us. We don't have any... Like, I got to choose from whatever race anyway, so why not him? After all the races were chosen and set up, finished, this is how the game started. You can also see who chose what of each strategy card. We did a very big mistake in round order because we went from each strategy card going 1 to 8 all through the way, including when people have 2 turns in a row. So that's the first big rule break we have, but at least we follow it somewhat consistently throughout the whole game. The only thing you can't see here is me picking Warfare. That was very important to me. My friend here, bottom right, the first player, we rolled for that as well. He got the Speaker, and he chose Leadership. He really wanted to have that one early on. So I picked Warfare, because I think that it, in my opinion, might be one of the biggest ones for Arborec to take in the beginning. Mind you, I'm not an experienced player, but just from what I've learned so far, it really helps them gaining at least 3 systems in the first round, setting up for a good second round. And of course, we have to take a closer look at our missions. As you can see, own 2 technologies in each of 2 colors, and control more planets than each of 2 of your neighbors. First move, Clamsar just moving out, grabbing the nearest system, and moving with him his production facilities, as Clan of Tsar has that possibility. I took and went out straight in for the middle as well, just so I can be sure to grab this one. This legendary planet allows a player to put out 2 ground units on any planet you own or control, at any point during one of your rounds, exhausting the ability as well. But this one is super strong for the Arborec, as their ground units can produce, and that gives us a lot more mobility in our production. Necrovirus also does the same thing, increasing the stats on his planets. I'm not showing when we activate all our strategy cards. Not much to see the first round, so I'll just compress this first round into their general moves and see how things went. He also had an interesting move here. I did not think he would do that so early. Going through the portal using strategy card, taking a planet that in my mind was a planet I should own. He had a secret mission telling him to become neighbors with everyone, so that's why he did it. Necro taking the anomaly, very defendable place. I went to take down Primer. I was at first a bit bummed out because it turned out this planet would be demilitarized zone, which means I can't have troops there and I can't have buildings there. My plan was to secure this legendary planet and use PDS2 to control the region, especially when I was gunning for Mechatol Rex later on. From here I could have the option to just take out both the planet I wanted to have in the beginning, which the yellow player took, and have the option to go straight into Mechatol Rex. It was actually a blessing though, because that means no one can take this planet from me, meaning I get to produce those 2 extra soldiers on the ground each turn. And while we were there, I kind of asked him why he took it or what his plan was. He said he just wanted to be neighbors, and I took him up on that and said, you know what, let's go with an alliance. And he agreed. He took the alliance card as well, perfectly for me, because I also had a secret mission saying get a promissory note from someone. Necrovirus, the red player, started doing the first evil move towards another player by doing a reactor meltdown on Clan of Tsar. Pretty huge, since Clan of Tsar has special moving, better and upgraded production facilities. This struck pretty hard. So after the first round, the board looks like this. I got the first point since I managed to get promissory note from yellow. Now for the second round, I chose Technology and Imperial, since I was planning to get a hold of Mechatol Rex this round and bunker down with all of my melee troops. Clan of Tsar picked up Construction and Trade, building himself up. Federation of Soul wanted Leadership and Diplomacy. And Necrovirus for Warfare and Politics. First up was Soul, taking 2 actions in a row. As I mentioned, we played this one wrong, since he picked both number 1 and 2. Yeah, because of this, Soul had 2 actions, the way we played it, so he took 2 plans right there. He actually made a deal with the orange Clan of Tsar player right here, about the middle planet there. He was only supposed to take it 1 round and then move out. Next up, Necrovirus took the speaker for himself, and the Clan of Tsar started moving more up and actually found the Gamma wormhole. This was the second mistake we did, because when we put that one into play, we actually put it, I don't know how it happened or who did it, doesn't matter. We put it into play as if it was opened. No one had activated it. We're supposed to activate it when someone first goes in there. But we just opened it for everyone, which has led to a big difference in this game. The orange Clan of Tsar player then put down Construction, giving himself back the production facility he lost to Necro. Necro moved out, put himself in a position to take down Mechatol Rex at some point. He also had Warfare. I was getting ready to take down Mechatol Rex now, but I realized I didn't have enough resources to actually hold it, because I had to use all of my plans to just pay the price to get the first starting point. So I had to delay my plans going in there until trade was activated and I could use my commodities to get some extra resources. I also considered going into this wormhole so I could get this new Malice planet, which also would have been very nice for me because it's a production planet giving you money each round. Also, I figured out because of my mech I could hold whatever planet I took, whether it be Mechatol Rex or Malice, because they say planetary shield and that means no one can bomb me. As long as I get enough troops down on the ground, no one can take a planet from me in the beginning. To gain more resources, I used an action card on the yellow player's planet, Atlas, gaining 3 more resources. I then used technology, getting myself Sarween tools and transit diodes. The orange Clan of Sar player got himself Scanlink drone network, and then proceeded to use his 2 turns to grab more planets and reinforce towards middle. At this point, the Necro player showed interest in taking down Mechatol Rex. He had actually found 2 blue fragments, and I tried to bargain with him, saying, I want to take the first point. If you let me have it, I'll give you one of my relics so you can gain an artifact. He considered it for a while, but wanted more out of the agreement, so I figured, you know what, you go ahead and take it and become the first guy with the target over your head. So I readied up, getting ready to go into the portal. Sending these ones in afterwards and taking that one, which I told you was a mistake from all of us, but we really didn't know about it. And I used flank speed to get there, to the annoyance of the orange SAR player, because he really wanted that planet, but then when he saw me bunker down, he also realized he couldn't take it from me with the way things were right now. I then proceeded to use my second turn to take this planet and bunker down there. And also getting ready to go through the portal and defend Malice if need be. The yellow Soul player used his now upgraded cruisers to move all this way and take down these planets. This actually annoyed the Necro player a bit because he really wanted those planets. Because of this threat, the yellow Soul player actually put his diplomacy card down here to protect himself from getting counterattacked by the Necro player. Necro also moved out to grab the planet in between me and him. The Clan of Sar got himself 3 relic fragments and got the Dominus Orb artifact. The Necro player with the newly taken planet also got 3 without having to trade with me and got the Maw of the Worlds, which isn't very good for Necrovirus sadly, but still usable. And I also found myself a 3rd artifact, and it was Shard of the Throne, which gave me an extra point. It also says that if I lose a legendary planet, I have to give this Shard of the Throne to another person. But this was where I was pretty lucky, because one of my planets couldn't be taken because it was a demilitarized zone, and the other one is really bunkered down now. The Necro player used the Rise of the Messiah, getting a lot of ground troops on the board, and then bought himself his flagship, which is really good when you have a lot of ground troops. The yellow Soul player also moved out to honor his deal with Clan of Sar. After the second round, this is how the score stands. I had 2 points, one for a secret objective and one for the shard, while the Sar and Soul player each got one of the public objectives, and Necro got his point from taking Mechatol Rex. Next public mission was spend 8 influence. And now we got into the agenda phase because someone took down Mechatol Rex. First was a directive up for voting, and it was voted 16 against, so nothing happened. Next up was Articles of War. Now remember, Necrovirus can't vote on all these cases, so it was only 3 of us doing all the voting while he was trying to predict. Now this one was actually very big for me, because if all mechs lose their printed abilities except for sustained damage, that means I don't have planetary defense, which means they can bomb me away from my planets. So we all voted for trade goods. That's the first agenda phase. Since he predicted correctly, he got himself Cruisers 2. For the third round, I got myself Politics and Construction. The orange Sar player got himself Trade and Technology. The yellow Soul player got himself Leadership and Diplomacy, while the red Necro player went and got himself Warfare and Imperial, since he had the Mechatol Rex. The yellow Soul player didn't do anything big except using strategy cards, so I used my first action to bunker down Malice even further. Then Clan of Sar started taking back the planet he was promised, and Necrovirus used Imperial immediately as to take down a public objective and gaining a point from the Imperial. Orange Clan of Sar players took his chances moving in, but he also used an action card to secure his move in there, so he didn't lose any troops. Necro started moving towards me in the anomaly. He actually gave a hint as to wanting to become aggressive towards me. So I got myself PDS 2, which is a bit of what I like to do, as I mentioned. I like to secure and hold. Orange got himself Gravity Drive, a bit of our setup here. We all grabbed our different techs. I also used construction at this point to reinforce with my upgraded PDSs. Yellow Soul Player started defending since Clan of Tsar was getting uncomfortably close. I started strengthening my left side as well, since Necro Player indicated he would be starting to be aggressive, which he did, because right after he started crippling my defenses, showing that he wanted to go towards me. The orange Clan of Tsar player started building up his forces, indicating that he wanted to take Mechatol Rex, while Soul player tried to help him by blocking off reinforcements down into Mechatol Rex. He tried to take over the planet, but failed in doing so, which gave the Necro player another attack. And the Necro player then went for his first move against me. He tried to bomb the planet, but his rolls weren't very good, and I produced some extra units in response with my commander. At the end of the round, the yellow Soul player revealed his secret objective and discarded 5 action cards to gain himself another point. The Necro player also gained one of the public objectives, making him gaining a further lead. Now we went ahead towards the next agenda phase. I used an Imperial Rider, trying to get myself a victory point, but we were all thwarted. Directive went to the orange Clan of Tsar player, which the yellow Soul player didn't like, so he used a deadly plot to just thwart it. Here was a very big one, actually, the political censure law. The Necro player predicted that the Soul player would have this one, so we actually... It came down to me, ultimately, and I gave it to the Necro player. He was already in the lead, point-wise, but he also had a lot of cards on his hand that would shut down any help he could get in the war between us, because it was really building up to a war in between us, which of course furthered his lead, taking the focus away from me and letting me be in peace, taking him down. This was the start of the next round, and I got myself leadership and construction. I needed sorely to get more command tokens, as well as putting down more PDS, because that was actually one of my secret objectives. Orange got himself politic and trade. He loves getting trade, building up a lot of money. He did well in that regard. The yellow Soul player got himself technology and diplomacy, while Necro did well in getting warfare, since he was building up for aggression, and Imperial to get more points from Mechatol Rex. This is when the orange Clan of Tsar player makes his move and goes for Mechatol Rex. But earlier in the deal, he had given his ceasefire to the Necro player, getting shoved back again. This is when I see my opportunity to take down the forces Necron have in the anomaly. Fighting an anomaly gives the defender +1, so I was very hard pressed to take that fight later on if he reinforced this area, so I wanted to take it down. I also had a secret mission to win a fight in anomaly, so I was super lucky with all of my secret missions. Since he started being aggressive towards me, this helped me getting all the secret missions I needed to. He got to shoot me with his 2 PDS before I went in. I gave myself a morale boost, increasing my chances to 86%, which I got, and took down this anomaly, sending me up alongside with the Soul player at 3 points. Tsar player started reinforcing a lot with all of his money. The Necro player put down his Imperial, taking another one and propelling himself further into the lead. Orange was now talking about wanting to have one more cultural planet for a secret mission, which made Soul player put down diplomacy, denying him the opportunity to do so. At this point, the red Necro player was pretty pissed at me and wanted revenge. He wanted to take down 2 of my planets, sending units around me with the help of the orange player's agent. But he forgot about my commander's ability to produce a unit in response to someone activating a system where I can produce units with ground troops. So I produced a Dreadnought to defend. I figured that might be enough to slow him down a bit and destroy some of his chances to counterattack me somewhere else. And I got lucky, and it did. He was able to take down my planet with some bombing though, sadly. And he was able to grab some more tech by destroying some of my units. This was the time for me to grab more planets and secure more of the wormholes. I knew that Yellow wanted to take Mechatol Rex now, so he would be busy fighting over that one and wouldn't be able to take any revenge on me. I would also compensate him later on by using my agent to upgrade one of his units to a Dreadnought. Since Orange player couldn't take Mechatol Rex, he wanted to cut me down to size because I was winning the fight against the Necro player by removing most of my air forces. I didn't want to take that fight because it was very bad for me, so I used skilled retreat and got out of there. And he couldn't bomb my planet, so him trying to fight me went badly and I managed to hold it. The red Necro player reinforced his home system, ready to fight more. And now I wanted him out of my area and my planet back. So I attacked with the Dreadnought, took him down and tried to bomb the planet. I didn't make it, he kept on holding that planet. The red Necro player at this point figures out he won't be able to hold Mechatol Rex for long. So he figures out he will take down one of Soul Player's units and gain a technology in the process. And he did so, opening up his line of reinforcement as well. He now has a lot of techs. Soul Player gets help from me. I upgrade his carrier to a Dreadnought and he's getting ready to take down Mechatol Rex. Which he does. He sends from 2 different points straight into Mechatol Rex, starting the huge fight over the middle. The odds of him succeeding after getting his upgrade was 80%, and he took it down easily. As I mentioned, the last secret mission I had was having 4 PDS on the game board, and I scored it, giving me 3 scored secret objectives, which I don't find too good, because now I can't score any unexpected points by any players. All of my points are out in the open. Soul Player also got his secret mission finished. Be neighbors with everyone. And this is the point tally at the end of this round. With the Necro Player still far out in the lead. Me and Soul Player split second with 5 points and Sar Player at third. I am having issues grabbing the public objectives, while Sul and Necro Player are diligently grabbing points. Sar Player is a bit behind, but he has used all of his resources, building up a huge army. As for the agenda phase, the first one's up is New Constitution. We really don't want Necro Player to have the ability to play his action cards yet, so 2 of us vote very hard against that. Since Orange is building up such a huge force, and I don't want him on my neck as I'm fighting Necro, I engage in a bit of diplomacy, supporting him to take down Mechatol Rex, since I'm pretty sure Soul Player can't do anything against me and he really wants to defend Mechatol Rex as well, so we swap support for the throne. We started off with the Soul Player reinforcing in his home system, and Necro Player reinforcing next to Mechatol Rex. Then the big move happens. Orange Sar Player goes for Mechatol Rex. Yellow Player had no chance as Orange Player's air forces was way too superior here. But Ground Force was not able to take down Mechatol Rex, even though he was using a lot of bombing. Soul Player is still holding Mechatol Rex. We all start teching more. Take a look at what we have for now. Orange Player getting himself War Sons. Soul Player getting himself Assault Cannon in response. Necro Player started reinforcing his home system, and I tried to take back the last planet by bombing it, sending 1 man over so I could just use my bombard to get him out, grabbing back what is rightfully mine. I also saw my chances here now of taking down 2 PDS since he was locked up in both of his systems, and then using an action card, opening up my forces again so I can take down half of his troops on the board, really pushing him into the corner. Because I know Necro Player is able to take down a 2-pointer this turn, putting himself on 10 points. I really need to push Necro Player because he is able to take down the first of the 2-point missions. I am not able to take down that one, and since he is only 4 points from winning, that means he only has to grab 1 more 2-point mission to win the game. So I moved in. I wasn't afraid of his home system flying past me. It was locked down and the nebula is slowing him down. Yellow Soul player now is trying to defend Mechatol Rex, sending in cruisers with his 3-speed to use assault cannon and just thin out orange player's forces. Fearing he would lose too much, orange player used morale boost. It wasn't much of a chance, but he took down a few. And he keeps on holding the airspace over Mechatol Rex, even though yellow player is still firmly holding the ground. Orange player reinforces with his first Death Star, and I reinforce back home. Yellow Soul player starts blocking the wormhole, afraid that I might have some plan to fly through it and take him down. And I use my action card to pick up my command token, readying up all my forces again. Orange player starts massing up ground troops, ready for another assault on Mechatol Rex, and with his Death Star, or War Sun as we should rather call it, he wants to bomb the living shit out of that planet. And he goes in with using his warfare. This time there's not much chance, as he gains control over the middle, taking down Mechatol Rex. We're not too worried about this just yet, because the orange star player is behind on points. And now I pinch remove with a lot of ships, with overwhelming odds of success here. He did shoot down a lot from me as well. Now, I was of course sure he would see this as a good opportunity to take down the rest of my forces here, but I had another skilled retreat and I was ready to encircle him and take down the home system when I had the chance. Going into point scoring, we have managed to keep the Necro player down. He didn't get any, he was missing one tech from getting his 2-pointer, but we know if he got the Imperial, he was able to take down 2 missions in 1 round. So it was still the biggest threat to the game. This is how the round looks before we go into the agenda phase. First one was, of course, very fitting as the first War Sun entered the battlefield this round. We all played Riders. Necro player can't vote, of course, and both me and Soul player played Riders, forcing him into losing all of his action cards. Start of next round, I grab Imperial to block Necrovirus from scoring 2 points. I had to, or else he would have won. I also grab Politics. It's actually very good for me because then I can take Speaker next round. Orange player grabs Technology and Trade. Yellow player grabs Construction and Leadership, while Red Necro grabs Warfare and Diplomacy. And he immediately uses Diplomacy here, as he doesn't want to lose another planet. I use Imperial to score myself extra points because I can now see a path to victory here. Oh, I only got to score a 1-pointer here though. And of course, at this point, everyone is discussing me as a potential winner as well and how to block me. They can all see I have no possibility of gaining either of the 2-pointer ones right now unless I gain the technology card, which I didn't. And they also started discussing how they should block me next round as well. As you can see, I'm pretty far from having the tech requirements. As I believed, Necro player goes out to stop my units. I use my action card, Skilled Retreat, to move out of the way. Orange player reinforces. Red player reinforces. I use my hero card, producing a lot of units, getting ready to stop Necro player. Hopefully having the option to take his home planet so he won't be able to score the points before I do. And now yellow player actually starts seeing me as the biggest threat and starts helping Necro player defend himself by attacking me. He actually only had 1% chance of succeeding, but crippled my forces here plenty enough to help Necro player. I used Politics, putting myself as the speaker, setting me up to score before anyone else did next round. Yellow player reinforced. And now red player really wanted his anomaly back. I produced extra units in response. As I was fighting in the nebula, I had hoped to put up a bigger fight. Sadly, I got slaughtered, rolling really, really badly. The odds were in his favor anyways. Orange player made a deal, getting his last cultural planet, taking down secret mission or secret objective. And now I had my chance for a Hail Mary going in towards the home system. It was only a 25% chance, but I took it hoping to block him from a victory. But I failed. I had plenty of other troops. Most people at this point have started skipping turns, and I had saved up a lot of actions, delaying as much as I could, so I could just reinforce and getting ready to attack the home system one more time later on. Orange player got a secret mission, and as you can see, Necro player is now only 1 point out of it, and it was super important I got that speaker token so he couldn't grab that Imperial next round, because he is able to take down the last 2-pointer which is up right now. He has a lot of tech, and we really needed to have him only score points at the end of the round. Orange Clan of Tsar player revealed he had an action card that could take down the law put down on the red Necro player. The law that said he got an extra point but was unable to use action cards. He said he would use it to reduce one of his points, but that would enable the Necro player, who had 7 action cards on hand, to start using them again. This was the board before we went into agenda. First one was Search Warrant. Whoever gains it would gain 2 secret objectives, but he had to play with them revealed. We predicted and used Leadership Rider. It went the other way, and yellow player got it. Next agenda card wasn't really anything big, we just got some extra action cards. We all knew that the orange player needed to have his action card that could disable the 1 extra point from the Necro player, so we all voted for gaining extra command points for Necro and action cards for all the other players. I was actually super lucky with the next mission that got put up, control 3 planets that have attachment. That was something I had, so I knew if I could just get Imperial card, I would be able to grab 2 objectives next round. We all knew that if Necro player got Imperial first, he would just straight up win this round. So as I had Speaker, I grabbed the Imperial token first. Everyone else knew that while we were blocking Necro player, I also had the option to win if I was lucky, since I got the Imperial now. So it was very important for the Necro player to get... He wanted to go first, so he would stop me from gaining his home system, so he could still score points. Everyone knew I could get the 3 attachment on planets points, so they really wanted to stop me from having any trade goods. I was out of trade goods, and if I had gotten a hold of the trade card, I would be able to take down the last 1 mission, because I was 3 points short, and they knew I could take one of the 2-pointer with Imperial. If I got the last 1-pointer at the end of the round, I would win, so they desperately needed to stop me from gaining any money. They also knew that if I got 2 techs this round, I could also get another 2-pointer this round, so he had to take down Leadership, which was okay for me because it was also super important for me to gain the Politics card. I really didn't want Necro player to have Speaker at the end of the round, since that would give him the opportunity to win if he scored any secret objectives. I had him pretty rounded up, so I was pretty sure he wouldn't be able to gain any secret objectives, but you can't be too sure, so I really wanted to have Speaker out of his hands. I needed to go before him at the end. First action, Necro player uses Diplomacy to make sure I can't attack him, making sure he can't score a point at the end of the round, giving himself the chance to win. I was looking for all the chances I could to gain some money. I had my money planet, but I needed 2 trade goods. But then I realized there's a second option on that planet, which I never used, and that's convert all of my commodities. They can stop me from gaining money, but they can't stop me from gaining commodities. And I can just trade my own commodities into trade goods. Necro player has a special move in mind. He has 2 turns in a row. He can go in there, open up a route with a few units, and then take a few units and hope for a Hail Mary taking down my home planet, stopping me from scoring points. Once again though, he forgot I can use my commander to create a unit in response. Had it not been for my ability to reinforce, this was actually a pretty good plan. He had a 67% chance of succeeding taking down that system, opening up the path to my home system. But because of my reinforcements, it sank down to 14%. And not only because of my reinforcement, but because I also had 4 upgraded PADSs defending those systems. I rolled really well shooting down all of his units. I then popped Imperial, taking down the only 2-pointer I could at this point. Everyone is really scared, but they don't see how I can take down any of the last 3 missions I'm able to this round, but they still are very wary of what I'm doing. Next up is Tsar player. He is actually moving away from Mechatol Rex for some reason. We don't know why. We thought maybe he was going to try and stop me, but then again he would have lost his support for the throne, which we knew he didn't want to. He was pretty far behind on points, but he had some kind of secret mission or something. And he kind of indicated so as well. He was only supposed to send in 1 unit, but at this point, the Necro player is pretty pissed and tried to antagonize the Orange player as well. So instead of just sending 1 unit to become everyone's neighbor, he sent his entire force and even took down the planet in response to his taunts. Soul player starts reinforcing as well, and now have a plan to cripple me even more. Now, this was actually an illegal move. He had his hero ability, but he could do this legally, just not this round, even though he had 2 turns in a row. But since we figured that out too late, we didn't care to backtrack, and it wouldn't have mattered too much anyways. He only had an 18% chance, but he rolled really well and crippled me super hard. Necro player now really wants to extract some kind of revenge, stopping me from having ground troops. He's able to take down my forces, but not the planets. He then uses his hero to purge my planet. Orange player uses his action card to repeal the law, stopping Necro player from being able to win this round, taking him down a point. Orange player is asking nicely for someone to take his home planet. He openly tells he has a secret mission and really wants to support anyone who does that. So Soul player says, yes, I can take down your home planet, and he opens up a path so he can just fly straight in and take his home planet. Even gives some extra speed boost with his agent, which gives him an extra point at the end of the game, of course. I have gotten my commodities ready to use my card and turn it into money, but I'm stalling it as much as I can, just in case anyone has anything they can pitch in with. The orange Tsar player actually takes down his last secret objective at the end of the turn here as well, and with me giving him speaker at the end of the turn, he actually almost got all the way to the end, straight behind me when we scored. Of course, both the Soul player and Necro player would get 2 extra points here at the end, but it didn't matter as I was the one to first reach the finish line and the game ended. It was super tight because I really didn't see how I could get that last point without getting any money. We really thought it would turn into 1 more round. But this is how it ended. The game lasted about 10 hours of gameplay with a couple of breaks in between there. We're pretty happy we managed to finish it all in 1 day, especially when we were taking pictures and logging all of it as well. Hope you guys enjoyed.